Hi, my name is Sam, and this is my demo lesson. Uh, so to begin with, let's compare some sentences. The first sentence here is, I have lived in the United Kingdom for 1 year. Okay. We can represent this in a different way, talking about, so here we've got the past, we've got now, and we've got the future. So this is something that started in the past, and it's unfinished. What about this other sentence? I lived in the United Kingdom for 5 years. So, happened in the past, it started in the past, and then also finished in the past. Completed action. Does anyone have any idea what the verb tenses are? Maybe you do, maybe you know. Now let's go on to the next slide now. So Mr. Smith from the film The Matrix. Let's talk about him. Mr. Smith has worked in Australia for 1 month. Okay. Before he worked in Australia, he was a student at university for 9 years. So which one of these, and which of these is the action finished? And which of these could it possibly continue into the future? Which one of these is unfinished? Which one of these is finished? So have a think for a minute. Mr. Smith has worked in Australia for 1 month. Has worked. So started in the past and it's currently unfinished. It's not completed yet. Before he worked in Australia, he was a student at university for 9 years. So this started in the past and then it also finished in the past. It's a completed action. So let's compare these sentences now with Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith dated Lucy for 3 months. Mr. Smith has dated Lucy for 3 months. Are these the same, or do they have a different meaning? Which action is finished, and which one continues to the future, or which one is unfinished? Mr. Smith dated Lucy for 3 months. So we can represent it like this. Started in the past, and then also finished in the past. So this is the past simple. What about the other sentence? Mr. Smith has dated Lucy for 3 months. So here, started in the past, and it's unfinished. Yeah? So we would say that they are still dating. Whereas in the top sentence, they are not dating anymore. Finished. So we were talking about the other tense is the present perfect. So how do you know? Well, this is the common form. Have or has plus the past participle. Now, when talking about past participles, regular forms have past participles that end in ed in the positive form, of course. And irregular verbs have irregular past participles. Okay. Now, unfortunately, for learners of English, most of the most of the verbs that we use in everyday conversation, everyday speak, are irregular. Sorry. So the past simple and the present perfect. Let's look at some of the different forms here. So the different verb forms. So you've got the regular, work, past simple is worked, past participle is worked. Now the irregular, know, past simple, knew, past participle, known. Oh, and there's so many of these. So what I would recommend is not to go and just memorize every single one of them, but to use it, to pick them up through speaking, through conversing. This is, I think, the best way to learn these. So the present perfect, when do we use it? We use it when we want to talk about the past and the present at the same time, together. So talking about the past and the present together. I've met Daniel before, so I've met Daniel before, so I know him now. They have left the country. They have left the country. They're not in the country now. So let's do some examples together. I have lived in the United Kingdom for 1 year. Can you help me to complete this sentence? And I'm very happy here, or as a child. So have a think about that. I was in the United Kingdom for many years. So think to yourself, is it a completed action or is it unfinished? And so the answers here are, I have lived in the United Kingdom for 1 year and I'm very happy here, because this is the present perfect. The other one is the past simple. I was in the United Kingdom for many years as a child. This is implies a completed action. It's the past simple. It is completed as a child. So let's have a look now at the positive, negative, and question form. So the positive is the subject plus have or has and the past participle. The negative, subject plus haven't or hasn't plus the past participle. And the question of have or has plus the subject plus the past participle. Okay, so let's use these now and practice them. I have finished. So what would be the negative form of this? I haven't finished. Have not, haven't. Question, have I finished? What about this one now? So you have finished. The negative would be you haven't finished. And the question, have you finished? Let's do an example together now. You've known him for a long time. What would be the negative? What's the question form? Have a think for a minute. So the negative is you haven't known him for a long time, and the question form is have you known him for a long time? Okay, so let's just end now with a quick quiz. They have spoken to my brother for 2 minutes, and compare this with they spoke to my brother for 2 minutes. So ask yourself, first of all, which one is the present perfect? Maybe you want to think about which action is finished and which one is incomplete. Have spoken, spoke. Have spoken is the present perfect and spoke is the past simple. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the lesson. Thank you very much for listening and bye for now.